Wife of 15 years had an affair for 2.5 years. TLDR, wife had an affair for 2.5 years with a coworker. Can she be trusted now? I don't want my daughter to grow up in a broken home. Hi all. This is my first post here and I am looking to A. Let out some feelings by telling my story. B. Get some anonymous advice. My wife of 15 years carried on an affair for 2.5 years with a coworker. When I met my wife, she had been divorced from her first husband for a few years. They had a daughter together, but he wasn't in the picture much, so I basically became her father. Once my stepdaughter got older, I wanted to have a child of my own, so I discussed it with my wife. Her tubes had been tied for years and she agreed to have them untied so that we could try and have a child together. We went through several pregnancies and miscarriages before she finally became pregnant with our daughter. Shortly after our daughter was born, I was forced to work nights, which meant my wife was basically a single parent. I will admit that I have not been a great father, but I have been there when I could be and love my wife and daughter. About 5 years ago, my wife got her dream job that she really loved. Roughly 2.5 years ago I found some things on her Snapchat and confronted her about them. She confessed she had been chatting with a coworker and that they had kissed on 2 occasions. A few months later, I found some text messages where they had been meeting for lunch, but my wife swore to me that was all they were doing and nothing had been happening. All seemed fine until a few months ago when she started acting distant towards me. She wasn't interested in us at all and I basically had to beg her to do it with me. She confessed to a soul affair which had lasted 2.5 years. She said she was in love with both of us, but she did not want to lose her family. That night I gave her an ultimatum that she could have no contact with her lover. We discussed some of all she had done, the sneaking around an apartment complex, parking lots, hotels, and finally a climate-controlled storage unit that had a bed. She told me they were amazing together in bed and that she does love him. That was tough to hear, but I told her I wanted the truth. She sent her lover a text ending it that night and she agreed to get on Life 360 with me. We have started counseling together, but I don't know if that is the best option. She has been extremely sad over hurting her lover and cries a lot. I don't feel as if I can ever trust her again, but I don't want my daughter to grow up in a broken home. Her reasoning for cheating that came out in our first counseling session was that I have taken her for granted for several years and she became angry with me. Plus, in the first counseling session she talked about her strong feelings for her lover. She swears she has had no contact with him since that night, but given how she talks about him, I don't know if I believe her. Husband, M32, had affair with his coworker while I, F31, was preparing for court against my rapist, warning, sexual assault content. D-Day was about a year ago. Dated ex-husband for 12 years, married for 6. 2 years ago I was sexually assaulted by my female friend when I was at her house for a sleepover. I escaped and immediately went to the hospital. I told my, now ex-husband what happened. Initially, he was supportive and encouraged me to report it to police. This began a year-long court process that was more traumatic than the rape itself. I felt like it was taken less seriously by doctors, prosecutors, and police because it was a female offender. When I was preparing to testify against my rapist, my husband was away for work, wildland firefighter. He is usually gone for weeks at a time. I had to deal with everything myself. A day before trial, my rapist changed her plea to guilty. I was relieved that I did not have to relive the experience in court. After the trial, I decided to get therapy and start on medication to help with PTSD that made me very sick. Last October, around the same time as my court date, my husband returned from his deployment and was acting strange. He talked about his friend using they. When questioned about if his friend was genderqueer, not sure if that's the correct term, I discovered he was trying to hide the fact that she was a woman because he thought I would get upset. He went on hikes with girls alone and I got jealous. This was a source of tension in our relationship and I really wanted to work on my jealousy issues. He began having lots of sleepovers with friends, which was out of character for him. I tried supporting his new friendships and even baked cookies for him to take to them to show my support of him making friends. One hike he went on, I asked if I could come and he said no, I would ruin the vibe because it was his work friends. I was hurt. One day, my husband went to a Halloween party. The next day, he disclosed that he cheated on me and kissed his coworker. He said he was unhappy in our relationship and wanted a divorce. I felt the world crumble beneath me. He moved out and went on a road trip with his AP that week. The following week, he came back and wanted to work on our relationship. I agreed, but gave him an ultimatum. He had to come clean, break contact with his coworker, switch to a different crew at work, and I could have access to his phone. He agreed and disclosed he actually had been sleeping with his coworker during our relationship. We tried couples counseling to no avail. He could not break contact with his AP, deleted texts on his phone, and applied to be crew leader on the same crew his AP is on. It was over. We drafted a separation agreement and went our separate ways. He remained with his AP. He would sometimes talk to me about working out the relationship and how guilty he felt. Other times he would call my family names because they helped me negotiate the separation agreement. I do not know finances very well and he has accounting education and handled all our money. He asked me to stop texting him because every time he sees my name, he wants to kill himself. This was troubling, so I called his parents to let them know he was making suicidal comments and that he needs support that I cannot give him. I am now dating a very respectful and caring man and he is aware of the hell I've been through. He has been very patient and even helped me take back control of my suicide. I feel emotions during can orgasm again, and I don't dissociate as much anymore. I feel bad because sometimes I still cry about my failed marriage and it is not fair to my new partner. I have so many unresolved feelings. I feel like my husband didn't believe I was raped. I would have never put myself in a situation like sleepover with a man, but a woman felt safe. I was wrong. I am angry because I said no and it ruined my life and he said yes to cheating on me. I feel guilty that I was so depressed after the assault, I could not provide him the attention he needed. I was a shell of a person and dissociated during so he probably didn't like our life. I feel inadequate, broken, and like I have poor judgment of character. On some occasions, I had suicidal thoughts and harmed myself. His actions were cruel but I still can't get past it. I ruminate and look at his girlfriend's Instagram all the time. She posts pictures of them together and they look so happy. I know it makes me miserable seeing the photos but I can't look away. TLDR, I was victim of sexual assault, husband disclosed affair and asked for a divorce at a very sensitive time in my life. I feel my depression and PTSD caused him to cheat. I am still depressed, Instagram stalk his AP, and have trouble getting over it despite therapy and medication. I met a very loving man whom I love and care deeply about. My sadness about my divorce hurts my new boyfriend. Just looking for support. I thought we were working on reconciliation. He just kept on cheating. So it seems like me life is falling apart once again. My boyfriend, M35, who cheated on me, F28, before but swore that he wants to fix things, be a better man, have never stopped cheating on me. He never stopped seeing his ex. We moved to a new city a few months ago to start fresh. We don't live together, but we're serious about our future together down the line. His ex followed. We bumped into her a few months ago. He swore that he had nothing to do with her decision to move here. A few weeks ago I saw on her social media that they were having dinner together. That night he told me he had a bad headache. It was a punch to my stomach, but I hoped that it was a one-off thing where he told her to back off. So I didn't bring that up and kept telling myself that if I really want this relationship to work I have to trust him. But after that I realized that there was a pattern of him not being available 1 to 2 evenings every week. Tonight is one of those evenings. I invited him for dinner. He told me that he had late lunch and is not hungry and that we should do it tomorrow. It felt weird so I asked if he just wants to come over to hang out, watch some TV together. He told me he will try to sleep early tonight. Tried to turn around back at me saying that I must feel very tired. Today I came back from a trip to visit my family, and that we should do it tomorrow instead. Sinking feeling in my stomach, I dressed up, went to his place and didn't find him at home. He hasn't responded to my messages for a few hours now. Usually he responds right away or tells me if he's busy. I can put 2 and 2 together. I know what is going on and who's he with. Apart from X, he doesn't know anyone else in this city. I don't even know how to confront him. How? What should I say? What's the point? I like to think that I am a very strong person mentally, but for the first time in my life I feel defeated. Destroyed. If you check my other post you will see that I tried really hard to forgive him and make it all work. Especially over the past few weeks I gave him all of my trust, I stopped feeling insecure and needy, focused on myself, improved my looks, started to put effort into making new friends. This city is new for me as well, got an offer for a new high-paying job. I adored this man. I thought we were soulmates. Best friends. I thought the bond and the connection we had was special. I thought together we are unstoppable, we can achieve great things together, grow as individuals and as a couple. I loved this man unconditionally and saw good things in him even at his lowest points, when he was begging to give him another chance. I never lied. I never gave him even the slightest reason to doubt me or my feelings for him. I feel so deeply hurt and betrayed. I gave this person nothing but love and he treated me like a doormat. There is nothing worse than the pain caused by cheating. It can seriously damage and cripple a human being. I really don't know what have I done to deserve this. I don't understand what did I do wrong. I thought if I treat people right, they will do the same. If he lost feelings for me or changed his mind, he should have just told me. At least in this way I'd have kept at least a tiny bit of respect for him. Now I just feel empty and defeated. It's like I live in some kind of nightmare. Once again. I feel so incredibly lonely. I know what will happen next, he will just go back with his ex. And after I gave this man all that I have I'll be left with nothing but very deep emotional trauma. I am sorry for a long post, but this situation feels extremely heavy right now. I feel like my life is a failure and quite literally falling apart. It's my birthday in 5 days and I have never felt lonelier in my entire life. The pain that I feel in my heart right now is impossible to describe and I have no idea what to do next.